So yesterday I noticed the sprocket was loose. We'll do a kilometer check here, 5214. And I thought like everybody else that I broke my rear sprocket studs. And then upon further inspection, two of them I could turn by hand. I just tightened them up and it took all the wiggle out and now it seems fine. So I'm still a believer that the factory studs are perfectly fine. So it finally happened and I might have ruined my sprocket studs. And it'll be all my fault, but I'll explain it in a second. Right now we're at 6,799 kilometers. And the other day I adjusted the chain and I was kind of in a rush and I adjusted it too tight. Now that I got the chain out of the way, let's rewind a little. So this is a aftermarket rear sprocket, and when I changed it from the factory sprocket, everyone talks about changing the studs to Honda ones, but I never did. I said the factory ones are good. And since I've had it, it's been fine. I've only tightened this up once since I put it on. And then today, if you can see around the snap ring there, where the dirt marks moved, that was an indication that something was wrong. And the last time it was loose, I could see the mark around the bolts. So you can see it's pretty loose, it's moving. And I think this is when people break their sprocket studs. I'm not sure that mine are broken yet. I'm going to go ahead and say I just need to tighten it up. We'll grab the tools and then we'll do that. So the chain's still pretty tight putting it back on. And you can see that's where all your problems come from with these rear sprockets on the China bikes. When your chain's too tight and it's pulling on them, that's when you're going to get issues. So we'll be fine there. We'll just keep an eye on the rear sprocket, see if that loosens up again. One thing is the rear tire is getting pretty bald at almost 7,000 kilometers. So here's an update on the rear sprocket. Today we're at 7,387 kilometers. And I'm going to pop the master link off. I haven't checked it since the last time I tightened it at like 6,800. So we'll pop the master link and see if our sprocket wiggles. So I can't get any wiggle out of it now. It's hard to do holding the camera without a tripod, but it's tight again. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say that the factory sprocket studs on the Tbr7s and Hawks are perfectly fine if you know what you're doing. We're at 7,300 plus kilometers, on-road, off-road. Going down the dirt roads, the rear tire just skips a lot, so you have to ease the throttle on, because if you just crank it, you're not going to go anywhere. But the rear tire is pretty much bald, and I'll get into that on our 7,000 kilometer review.